Hello, my name's James Smith, and this is my review of the Vibram FiveFingers KSO EVO. Okay, so basic tech specs for the Vibram FiveFingers KSO EVO. You've got extremely minimal design. Obviously, it's a barefoot shoe, minimal shoe, whichever way you want to look at it. There's only a 2mm insole and a 3mm rubber, Vibram rubber outsole, so not a lot going on there. Sock/glove-like design with obviously the separate toe holes for your toes so they can splay nicely. Very minimal breathable upper that doesn't let any water get stuck in there or anything. I've never had any issues. It's been raining on one through puddles or anything like that. Very minimal collar, very minimal heel, no heel counter or anything like that whatsoever. Yeah, brilliant, lightweight, fantastic. These are an EU 45 and it only weighs 138 grams, so extremely lightweight, and basically the lightest barefoot minimal shoe that I've got. I've done about 200 plus miles in this pair of Vibrams, and you can see there the wear is so minimal on this sole. So just about to see it, there we go. You can see that there. You can see where I land more on the forefoot, which is obviously what these are sort of designed to help you achieve, is a sort of more natural running technique. Got into running in Vibrams after suffering shin splints in sort of standard trainers, and really could not shake them, couldn't recover from them. Every time I thought I was better again, I would put my trainers back on and go for a run, and it was all bad news until I discovered these. I had to start slowly, and I advise anyone that's going to get into barefoot running to start very slowly. Literally a mile. If you're running 10 miles, start with a mile at the most, because your foot's not going to know what hit it. Neither are your calves, to be honest. You know, real slow progression, but fantastic, because it builds all the muscles in your foot up, builds all the muscles in your legs up, the right places, and I've had no injury worries ever since. I do all my training in between other reviews. I do all my training in these, and I've just always got on with them fantastically well. These are one of the most minimal Vibrams you can get. I do have a pair of V-runs as well, but to be honest, I find them more of a shoe than these, and I much prefer to run in these. So as I mentioned briefly in the sort of tech specs bit at the start of this review, you've got a quick lacing system. This works really well. You can go a bit too tight with it if you're not careful, and you find little pinches on the top of your foot because these laces are a bit hard, and you can see them there, they're quite thin, so don't pull them in too much. But the tongue does a fairly good job of padding that out. It's not completely nothing tongue, it is a bit sort of padded, so it's actually quite nice, quite comfortable. Your upper is nice and breathable, really light, really hugs your foot. It's fantastic actually. The first time I put these on, I just never felt anything like it with a shoe. It was crazy. It just was on my foot. It was like it had been painted on almost. These sort of rubber overlays. Not sure if they do anything, if they tighten it up at all, but they're there, sort of looking all right, kind of. I mean, it looks a bit weird, but I think it looks pretty funky in a good way. Anyway, so toe design. This allows your foot to splay. You will never have any problems with toe room in this shoe. I can't run in normal trainers really now without comparing them to these and just thinking, why can I not splay my feet properly? And that's because in these it does what it needs to do, and that again just helps promote your position and your technique. Heel counter, there isn't one. It doesn't need it. I don't think shoes actually need heel counters. That's a story for another day. I find that as long as it holds your foot in properly, it's designed well enough to hold your foot in. I quite like what Zero shoes do with their strap design, and I like what Vibram do with this sort of really minimal collar and heel design. It just holds everything where it should be. My foot has never tried to slip out, it's never moved. I've never had a single blister. In terms of safety features, again, like I said, no bells and whistles. There's nothing really going on there. It doesn't need it. I've never understood why you put reflective strips on a shoe. If you want to be seen at night, you're going to wear something bright, aren't you? Or a torch or whatever, God knows. I just don't get it. I don't see it as being a useful thing. I just see it as adding bulk, weight and price. But that's my opinion. Now, onto the sole. Best thing about this shoe, obviously, it's the main selling point. It's a Vibram shoe. Vibram make amazing rubber soles. They have done for years. Hiking shoes, running shoes, they're on everything. So it stands to reason that this sole should be pretty good. It's on their own shoe. They're going to have put a lot of effort into it. And yes, it is very good. Grips in the wet brilliantly. I mean, it's a minimal tread on there, but it's fantastic. Wicks the water away to the sides so you don't slip or anything. No problems whatsoever. I've even run on a bit of mud and these. Gets a bit interesting as well if you get a bit too muddy, but for the most part, brilliant grip. On the road, absolutely fantastic. I mean, in the dry, it just sticks. It sticks like glue onto the road. You've got no problems whatsoever. So when you're running downhill, you're not going to have any problems with sliding. Obviously, when you're still trying to run on your forefoot down a hill, you need all the grip you can get. Flexibility wise, nothing comes close to this. This is the most flexible shoe that I have ever owned, tested, or anything. It's almost as flexible as a zero shoe sandal, and that's a sandal and not a shoe. That's how flexible this is. In terms of support, obviously there's nothing in the shoe to give any support. But the thing that I've found is that because obviously wearing this shoe, it makes me run a lot more on the forefoot, and it definitely helps with your technique and builds up the muscles in your foot and in your legs. And so the support comes from your own body, and you're not relying on the shoe to help you with the support. So actually, support-wise, I think these are better than any shoe. Comfort-wise, absolutely fantastic. I feel really secure in these, even though I should probably feel less secure in them, if that makes any sense, because there's hardly anything there, but they just fit so well and are so comfortable that nothing beats them. Performance-wise, I've done short runs, long runs, quick runs, slow runs. I've done everything in these, aside from mud runs, which would be insane. Once you've sort of built your feet up and the muscles in your feet enough and you've progressed on, you can probably run any distance in them, and they're absolutely amazing. When you go to sort of competition running, I would say something maybe like the V-Run, these little beauties, might be a little bit better, because obviously when you're wanting to concentrate on your run and you're probably just thinking about that guy in front of you or what time you're doing, you don't really want to be worrying too much about technique. So obviously something like this might be better. Just give it a little bit more cushion, a little bit more support, and yeah, a little bit more security maybe. And they are extremely fast shoes as well. Bottom line is, this shoe is a fantastic barefoot minimal shoe. If you are looking for something to transition in, I would say these are perfect. Don't go for something too much. If I were you, I would go for something as minimal as possible that isn't barefoot. Running barefoot is something altogether different. But these are fantastic. Brilliant for day-to-day training, brilliant for walking, brilliant for running. They are just really probably the number one barefoot running shoe, I would say, anywhere.